And now I try to do them every Sunday, whenever, during the day. Hi, Mitali from Singapore, Georgia from New Zealand. I see you, Alyssa from Michigan, Ghana. I'm really happy that you're here with me. So many of you know, just to reiterate to those who don't know, my coaching institute, I have a coaching institute that coaches you to become a conscious parenting coach like me. And if you like what I do and you want to learn how to do it, I teach it in a 5-month online course. It's on my website. Go to Institute, and online, everything is online. And we have people from all over the world learning how to become coaches, discovering a new purpose and passion. I have some videos on my Facebook and Instagram where you can have testimonials from other graduates so you can hear what they say. But if you're looking for a new passion, if you like what I teach, if you want to become a vessel of these teachings and you want a new path in life to help others, to work from home, to be independent, then take a look out at my coaching institute. It's on my website under Institute. We are accepting applications only till August 15th. So another 13 days. And there is an application fee. We read through your application. We ask you tough questions because we want to see if your consciousness is ready for a path of service. You know, to do service is not easy. You have to really be ready for it and truly be in a place in your life where you are wanting to give and through the giving, receive. So if this is you looking for a new purpose, looking for a new path in life, wanting to teach what I teach out into the world, who loves conscious parenting, then check out my institute. It's on my Facebook and on my website. And applications are due August 15th. I only open it twice a year. Okay, everyone. So let's talk about some viral wisdom. Today is day number 57. So tell me how you're doing. What's your greatest struggle? Check in with yourself and tell me how you are managing. So I'll talk a little bit about what I see out in the world, and you can tell me what you feel, and we can have some sort of dialogue about it. So what I see is something that was happening on the micro level, now blown up. So where before there was racism everywhere, now it's blown up. Where before there was fear around our future in our individual lives, now it's blown up. Where there was stress with our children and we had issues with our children around connection, now it's blown up. Where we may have had issues around ourselves and unfolding into our purpose, now it's blown up. You see? So on every level, whatever we already had issues with is now blowing up. And when things blow up to this level, when things are so in our face, the instinct is to run away. The instinct is to shut down because it's too overwhelming. It bombards our status quo, our sense of complacency and safety, and we want to blame, we want to yell, we want to tantrum, we want to scream. All our reactivity is now on an all-time high. This is natural. This is human, because we are feeling as if we are in a war zone in many ways and don't have control. Every day we see new information. No one knows what's the truth. We're fighting with each other based on ideology. We're fighting with each other based on whether this virus exists or not, whether to wear a mask or not, how many hours should I wear the mask, who decides what. We're really decompensating to this very primitive sibling rivalry state where we're looking at each other like we would our siblings, or worse, right? and we're fighting with each other constantly. We're arguing and fighting, and we're really entering a very primitive, fear-based inner architecture. And from that inner architecture come foundations of relationships that are now becoming putrid and toxic and dysfunctional. So we have to ask ourselves, how are we going awry? How am I individually messing this up? We can't keep blaming the news, and we can't keep blaming Facebook, and we can't keep blaming Trump or this leader or that leader. We have to ask ourselves, what am I doing in my life right now that is contributing to toxicity, that is contributing to putrescence, to dysfunctionality? How am I in reactive mode? Am I a bearer of beauty and consciousness? And as we begin to look at our own reactivity, our own fear, our own capacity for service and purpose, then slowly we can begin to multiply. But it begins at this very core individual level. It begins with you, in your home right here. How are you being reactive? Are you in a state of emergency, in a state of fear? Now, many of us are losing our jobs. Many of us are on status quo, on hold. And this is bringing up our primal fears around survival and sustenance and economic safety. This is natural. This is in Abraham Maslow's triangle. These are our core needs, our basic needs. And if these basic needs are not met, then we're not going to go up on the elevated ladder toward evolution, service, purpose, passion. So we have fear, we have guilt, we have pressure, and this is making us fall apart. This is crumbling us. This is crushing us from inside. The first thing to do is acknowledge what's going on within you. Acknowledge, okay, now I am entering fear, and because of this, I am in a toxic pattern. Pay attention to how you're behaving. Are you drinking too much? Are you eating too much? Are you yelling too much? Are you sleeping too much? Pay attention to your behavioral symptoms. What are your behaviors telling you? If you are in trouble, you need to speak up. By the way, on a digression, if you're in trouble and need help, I have this program that I'm trying to manage. Okay, so I don't want 1,000 requests. But I have my graduates from my Conscious Coaching Institute, which is taking applications right now if you want to become a conscious parenting coach. However, the graduates from that institute are offering help during this pandemic. If you are in trouble and need help, and if you fill our criteria, meaning you can't be too crazy, can't be too depressed, can't be too suicidal, can't be too anything, yeah? You have to kind of be just like a normal neurotic person like all of us. If you're in the spectrum of just like crazy, but not overly crazy, not overly exhausted, not overly stressed out, you know what I mean? Please don't write to me and say, you called me crazy. I'm just joking. If you need help, if you need support, but not extreme, then hashtag help. Put hashtag help and tag Andrea Gonzalez. Well, just put hashtag help and we'll go through it. Just put hashtag help and somebody will reach out. But it can't just be anybody saying, I need help. You need to be really wanting to work on yourself, really wanting to look at yourself, really wanting to do some work. Yes, my coaches will give you the first 30 minutes for free, and then you can work it out and be willing to pay. Anyway, so let's go back to what you need to do. So pay attention to how you're acting out. Pay attention to your signs of stress, to your symptomatology, to your behavioral manifestations. How are you acting? Are you acting in a way that is not in the norm? Pay attention. Seek help. Call a friend. Get help, right? Take a program. Take a self-help course. Learn meditation. Do something. Pay attention. In the same way, if your children are acting out, pay attention. Maybe they need help, right? We are going through unprecedented times, and unprecedented times cull out strange behaviors in us. We have never been here before. We don't know how to act like this. We are in a detox program, and all our drugs have been taken away, and we don't know who we are without our drugs. All our sense of safety and the drug of the illusion of comfort and the drug of the illusion of the future has been snatched so brutally away, and we're just left without tools. So we are going through these unprecedented traumas, and we want to go back to how things were. But how things weren't healthy. They may have been normal because that's what we thought was the norm, but it wasn't healthy back there. Our children incessantly enrolled in one activity over the other, our time being scheduled by the minute, all of us buying things on Amazon and going crazy with online shopping and being consumeristic and spending too much and eating too much. That wasn't healthy. And now we're trying to figure out what is this new space we're in. So pay attention to your out of norm behaviors and ask for help. This is not going to be easy, and it's not going away right now. We are already at a place where we're going to see the effects of what we've had now for the next year, at least, if not more. So we're already out in the ocean. Even if you can see land way beyond, it isn't coming closer anytime soon. So you have to recognize you are adrift. You are on the waves, bobbing away, adrift. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means you're adrift. And typically we look at being adrift as a bad thing. But let me tell you, in my own life, because I see my life not as a life, not as a journey, but as having many lives within my life. I see my life as constantly evolving, constantly transforming, constantly iterative, meaning I'm no longer interested in just having a life. I'm interested in having many lives within my life. I'm interested in shedding many skins to develop new senses of selves. I'm not keen any longer. I used to be when I was in my 20s to just have a life and to just be myself. Now I've come to see, through the wisdom of age, that I will have many selves, and I will have many iterations of my being, and I will have many lives. And why not? Why must we only have one? We can have multiple friends, multiple partners, multiple everything, multiple. Now, this doesn't mean we don't commit or connect, or it just means that we're open to life evolving us and not putting onto life our rigid ideas. So right now we're adrift. We've been taught that that's not good, because we should always be found. We should always be in the know. We should always be in control. Well, all of that was a lie. We should not always be in control. We should not always be found, and we should not always be knowing where we are. That's an insane illusion. Now we are adrift. I know the instinct is to think this is a bad thing. This is not a bad thing, and it's not a good thing. It is just a thing that if we can lean into, we can make into a truly powerful, transformative moment in our time. Not good or bad, beyond good and bad. Because in order to find your next self, you must die to your old self. So part of the death includes being adrift on the ocean, where we are. We are in between selves now. We're in between universes. We're in between dimensions. However you want to talk about it, we're in between realities. And this is, quote unquote, a very powerful, positive thing. This is an amazing opportunity, because it is the mark of the transition into the new. If you look at it the right way, If you're looking at it as a loss of the old, you will be dejected, disillusioned, and resentful and angry. If you look at it as the in-between before the new, being in the tunnel, you will suddenly transform your experience. In order to find the new, you must be lost to the old. You just can't be in the new if you haven't given up the old. If you haven't given up the old, you're still in the old. To get to the new, you have to give up the old, no? So while you're giving up the old, there's going to be a transition phase. This is that transition phase. So how we react now to this position bobbing out there in the vast, unending, unrelenting ocean is going to be the key to how you exit this tunnel, this phase. Now, on the ocean, you don't have enough clothes. You don't have enough food. You don't have enough money. That is the point of it. Otherwise, why would you be on the ocean if you had everything? The point of the ocean is that you are traveling light. You are shedding, making it light for the boat to carry you. Spiritually, this is the important work, is shedding, letting go all that is not essential. This is key. If you can picture yourself out in the ocean and understand you're getting to a new shore, but you don't know what that new shore is going to look like. But while you're in the boat on this unending ocean, you need to really do this well, otherwise you will sink. This is where we are. And many of us are going to sink because we're not using this moment of transformation in the right way because we don't know how. Not because we're stupid or bad or lazy, we don't know how. That's why I come here to remind you that there is a how. You can do this really amazingly and come out the other end. However, the reason why we don't do it amazingly is because, damn it, we don't have food, we don't have clothes, we don't have a mattress, we don't have anything to rely on, and we don't know when shore is coming. So I understand. I know why people are not doing it well, because we're freaking out. Because we left the old shore behind. We don't have anything on the boat. We're like, how, when will this shift? So it's understandable that you're freaking out and you're going astray, but also understand if you freak out too much and you do this completely triggered and reactive, you're going to screw this up. Your boat is going to sink. So now you have to tell yourself, okay, I'm out on the ocean. This kind of is scary as hell. I feel lonely. I don't have any of my traditional comfort zones. And I'm scared. I don't know where I'm going to end up. Acknowledge. But I also know that if I don't do this smartly, the boat could sink. Right? And I'm not here to threaten you. I'm just here to say it will. Right? It's like if you drink too much, you're going to ruin your liver or your kidney, whichever one it is. If you eat too much, you're going to be 15 pounds heavier. You have to be smart about this. So there is a way to be smart about it. The first thing to acknowledge is that everyone is feeling this pain. Everyone is feeling this stress. If you think that you're the only one out there who doesn't have enough money or who doesn't have enough funds, that is not true. Hold on one second. That is your way of feeling like you're a victim, because it's not true. Every single person I know is going through financial stress. There is no one, maybe the toilet paper inventor, who's making a killing or whatever, but for the most part, everyone is financially feeling the pinch. So what do you do with financial pressure, right? It's such a real pressure, right? How do we handle financial stress? It feels like without money, we can't survive. So here's the thing. Yes, money is important to survive, but most of our fears around money have nothing to do with money. Most of our fears around money have to do with our psychological lack around worth, belonging, being attuned and aligned to the self, living without distractions, living without addictions. Most of us have enough money to survive, But if we want to live in the big house with the garden and the pool by the beach and the doves and have a koi fish pond, then we may not have enough money. But if we understand that we can survive without most of what we have and enter that place of abundance, your fears around money will become way less. Most of our fears around money have nothing to do with actually having physical money. It has to do around the psychological pressures and psychological safeties that we think money can give us. And money doesn't give us that. So our fears around money are mostly fears. Yes, we all need to work hard. We all need to make money. We need to pay the rent. But if we need to downsize, we can downsize. If we need to sell something, we can sell something. If we can let go, we can let go. If we can no longer send our kid to private school, we won't send our kid to private school. What I'm saying is that there's so much room for adaptation that we have not yet explored. And the reason we don't explore adaptive ways to manage the situation is because we are attached to the psychological senses of security that these things give us. But these things are just things. They can never give us psychological safety. Money can never give us psychological. Any billionaire or millionaire, if they're any more psychologically less anxious or messed up because of money, and their answer will be no. They just have more stress at a different level. So do not fool yourself that money is blocking you. Your fears around money are blocking you. And you have to deal with those fears whether you have the money or you don't have the money. It's just like saying, you know what? I don't have children, so I can't live my full life. That's not true. Your idea or your fear of not having children, or your idea that if you don't have children, you're not good enough, is stopping you from living a good life. It's never the thing that we think it is. It's always our belief system around the thing and what it means if we don't have the thing. That is causing us stress. So in this moment on the boat, adrift on the ocean, most of us don't have what we used to have. We don't have our schedules. We don't have ease of comfort and travel. We don't have conveniences. We don't have physical money. We may not have a family connection. We may not have our children being occupied. Yes, a billion things. All of us are going through this. But that is just reality. Our emotions around it are ours. The reality is that you're stuck on an ocean for a while. You can't carry much load on the boat, and it's scary as hell. That's the reality. But the other emotions that you put on it are your story, your reactivity, your childhood. What are you putting on that? You know? And that is your subjective relative reality. It is nothing to do with reality per se. So, reality is tough, but we can adapt. You can adapt when you begin to observe your way of reacting, your particular story, your particular childhood. How are you creating stories and belief systems that impose on reality? And that is the key. If you impose too much on reality, you're going to mess it up. When you can see reality as it is and adapt without the imposition of your past, your old wounds, you will flourish. The more you put your old stuff onto reality, the more you will sink. The more you leave and shed your emotional baggage out, throw it out into the ocean, your boat will swim toward the next ocean, toward the next waters, towards the next turn, towards the next horizon, towards the next shore. So it all depends on you managing reality. And the thing that stops you from managing reality are your attachments to the old reality. The more you let go of your attachments to what it should be and lean into what it is, you will swim faster to the next horizon. This is called adaptation. We are marvelous at adaptation. We are amazing and strong and powerful. Only though, if you let go of your attachments. If you're filled with attachments, you cannot adapt because you're carrying everything on your back. So notice, how are you adapting? What are you attached to? Your attachments are causing suffering. They're causing reactivity. They're causing dysfunctionality. We can start shedding these old patterns of reacting. Reality is not telling you, react like a fool, react depressed, react angry. Reality is not saying that. Reality is just reality. We are putting on reality our childhood experiences of rage or anger or tantruming or depression. Take that out and start looking at reality as it is. And when you begin to look at reality as it is, you begin to adapt. And ask yourself, what can I do with this reality? How can I be new in this reality? How can I shed the old in this reality? What is being asked of me right now? Why am I not able to do it? And all your answers will be because you're attached to the should, attached to the past, scared of the future. Nothing to do with the present moment. The present moment is asking, how can you adapt? Can you swim? Can you make a rope? Can you put tape around the edges of the boat? Can you paint? What can you do? And you're like, I'm not a painter. And reality is saying, well, now you're going to paint. And you're like, I'm not a painter. I'm not a painter. I'm not a painter. I'm a mathematician. I only know how to do math. Well, the boat is like saying to you, well, we're in a boat now. I don't need your math. I need you to paint, or I need you to fix the boat. And you're like, I can't. I'm not a carpenter. The boat is like, can you try? Can you make an attempt? Can you adapt a little bit? And you're like, nope, I can't adapt because I'm a mathematician. This is why we get stuck, because we get attached to our identities. We get attached to our image of who it is we are. We get attached to life as we think it should be, instead of what the F life is. Who cares if you're a mathematician at this point? Sorry, mathematicians. We need people who can do other things. And each one of us is capable of leaning into these other iterations of yourself. You can become something you have no idea you are, if you just open yourself to that and let go of the old. Who said you are only you? And the more you attach to me being I am you're not going to adapt. It is the time for infinite moldability. Crisis calls for infinite adaptation. Adaptation means shedding the old skin and entering the new. Period. You cannot adapt unless you shed the old skin. They say camouflage is the number one adaptation of non-human animals. Yes, they invoke camouflage. What is camouflage? Shedding of the old skin, entering the new, adapting to the environment, and then saying, maybe I'll come back to the old if I need, when I need. It's constantly shape-shifting, asking what is needed of me now to meld into this environment. It doesn't mean you lose your sense of self, but it means asking, what does this reality need from me right now? Right? If your husband is an alcoholic and you are in your head stuck to the belief that husbands should never drink, okay, that's a great idea, but your husband right now is drinking. So this is your what is, not the what if. Don't live in fiction. Similarly, if you don't have a job right now, get moving and let's start looking. Saying that I was promised a job, they promised me a job till I retire, and being stuck in a malaise and anger because of it will not allow you to adapt to the new reality. Ask yourself, what is needed from me now that I'm terrified of, that I've never even seen this part of myself, but maybe I can be brave to try. How can I adapt? How can I be flexible? How can I shed my old skin to enter the new? This is the pivotal question in order to get your boat ashore, from adrift to ashore. How are you going to go from adrift to ashore? You have the capacity. You just don't believe you do. Because your typical signposts of life have been shattered and you think you've been shattered. No, only the things have gone. You are still here and you are infinitely capable of adaptation. You just have to dare, and you just have to not care about the old. The more you're attached to the way things were, the way things should be, to your ideological ideas, you will not adapt. But if you are willing to just shed the skin and go, here I am, what is ready for me now? What am I ready for right now? Can I jump into the ocean? Can I be brave? Can I take a risk? Can I ask for help? You will be on the path to being ashore. Or you will stay adrift. If you wait for reality to change, you will stay adrift. If you wait for your friends to change, you will stay adrift. If you wait for your family to rescue you, you will stay adrift. If you want to get to shore, you gotta take your own ass there. And how? By waking up and saying, okay, nobody around me is helping me. Life is really tough right now and life is not being cooperative. Nobody's around me. Everyone is stuck at home. Okay, I cannot wait anymore. I have to take my own life in my hands and ask, what can I do now? Maybe I go apply for 10 jobs right now. Maybe I go on a run right now. Maybe I go and eat an apple right now. I don't know what level your choice needs to be at, but it certainly means that you need to make a choice. Nobody is coming to save you. This could never go away, or it could. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's the corona or not. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Tomorrow, everything could be fixed. Your job could be back. And then your toe could be stubbed and you broke your toe. Now you're in bed for the next 7 months. Then, same thing. I'm adrift. I'm in a new boat. How do I get to shore? You understand? The corona is just one big magnifying glass to the very same issues that we have to go through on a day-to-day level. It's just put things on blast. It's just on blast said, humans are not that smart. It's just put us on blast. Just shown us we're dumb sometimes and full of bluster and argument, and we're not mature and we're so silly and we're so petty. It's just put us on blast, and we're racist as F. It's just put us on blast. Part of and what the human race is all about. I mean, it pains me that I'm part of this, but I have to accept that this is who we are, and we have all kinds. So what kind do I want to be? Do I want to be there, or do I want to be here? And there you begin activating change and transformation again. I'm like, oh, we are so not smart. Wow. In the wealthiest supposed nation in the world, we are not that smart. Anyway, it is what it is. We have to then decide, now what do we do with this revelation that we're really, 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 really like pathetically not smart? What do we do with this revelation? Well, we can get depressed about it, but we've been there, done that. That didn't change anything. We can get pissed off about it. We are doing that. Is it changing anything? No. We're just fighting like petty people, petty 5-year-olds on Facebook. Is that making a difference? Maybe my elected officials will do their job right. Maybe nothing is happening. We did all the maybes. Not one of my maybes has come true. Not one. I kept saying, surely somebody smart, somebody brilliant will rise like a phoenix from the ashes and just tell us, don't worry, children, we got this under control. I was saying this in May, right, 2 months ago. It didn't happen. So now I'm beginning to think maybe nothing is going to happen. Maybe this will just go when it's ready to go. And maybe I need to stop waiting for something on the outside to change. Maybe the problem is me in my own head. And then I had to look at myself and go, damn, this is deep. This is all about me. And I began to take charge in my own life. Well, how do I want to make myself happy when all the things that used to make me happy are no longer? What can I find to make me happy? And then you begin to find it and amplify it in your life. Then I began to ask, well, okay, I can't do that, I can't do that, can't do that, can't do that, can't do that. What can I do today? And I'm going to put my energy in what I can do, right? And this is how you learn to manifest power and victory and courage, even when the world looks like it's a huge, colossal piece of garbage. You find the one jewel, okay? Find the one jewel, put it in a box, and see it every day with a magnifying glass, okay? It'll look bigger than it is. And then one day you'll believe it's bigger than it is, because we have this capacity to believe all sorts of things. And then we can magically hope it'll multiply. No, it will, really. If you really amplify your powerful thoughts, it will multiply. Okay, that's just the way of attention. The more you pay attention to something, the more it grows. So stop waiting for things on the outside. You are in the ocean, you are adrift, but there is a way to get ashore. It requires you to adapt, you to let go of blame, you to stop and begin to take charge of your own destiny. Yes, this is the way you get to shore. Thank you for listening, guys. I may be back here next Sunday. And in the meantime, if you're interested in becoming a conscious parenting coach, if you're sitting there adrift and not knowing what to do with your life, come join my coaching institute. I will teach you how to do things like me and have fun helping people, because it's so much fun. And gratification and mission and vision. So if you're missing these things in your life, take a look out, go check out my coaching institute on my website under Institute, and see if this could be the next you. It's time to adapt. It's time to iterate.